Okay guys, and today it is going to be installing GPS day. So the plan is to install this GM10 Nano Compass GPS. So I'm going to be taking this apart. We've studied this little diagram and we might be adding a little buzzer. I don't particularly have the formal one that comes with drones, but we're going to test it out and see if we can, if we add it to the ground and camera swapping lenses, anyway, if we add it to the ground and BZ little contact, if we actually get a buzz from a said buzzer. If not, well, we gave it a go and it's going to be what it is. That's fine. But it's definitely going to be the GPS plan. But I'm going to get my dad to help out with the soldering because I am going to mess it up and I don't want to mess it up right now. I'll get practicing and building my own one from scratch later on. I just want to get this one working so that I can fly on the farm and enjoy it. I'll definitely show you a couple of videos of that as well, just to get you up to speed of how that's going, or at least how that went. Got my little smoke stopper here, so that's going to be coming in handy soon, and obviously we'll be watching a couple of videos. Since this time was primarily spent with my dad to get all of this done, I didn't really focus all that much on trying to describe things as I was busy filming it. So what I'll probably do is just add a couple of voiceover notes just to explain what we're doing, but it's actually quite self-explanatory for the most part. Effectively taking it all apart, making definite use of that diagram. We also got it up there on the laptop, as you can see, just to make sure that we don't get it wrong. So yeah, it's effectively connecting the SDA, SCL, and RXTX and ground. We also connected the 5-volt cable from the GPS to that 4.5 volt pad. It seemed to work okay without too much issues. And here, for example, we're just going through the motions of, call it practicing the movements of getting to the tiny pads. This was the first time that my dad actually was soldering on specifically drone parts. He has got quite a bit of experience soldering and working on very fine electronic type stuff. So this wasn't that big a deal for him, but it's still good to go through the motions to make sure that you don't mess it up. So in this portion of the video, we're obviously just positioning the cables so that we can tin them using clothesline pins to hold the cables nice in position, then tinning them as we go so that we're just getting prepped to connect it all. We also chose not to take the complete drone apart, just to avoid unnecessary work on the drone itself and causing a little bit of damage. Obviously, at some point you'll have to take it all apart just to get there and fix stuff. But yes, in this video we luckily don't need to, but yeah, definitely the next video you'll see some little bit more action. But yeah, in this specific clip now you can see we're testing it with the smoke stopper, most likely not even required. Look, we didn't do a whole lot of soldering, it's just those 6 little connections for the GPS, and I believe now we are busy configuring the GPS within Betaflight itself. Since we were using my dad's laptop, I didn't specifically have OBS installed so that I can record the screen and so forth. So yeah, it's going to be highly not exciting to see that, but effectively just following Joshua Bardwell's video explaining you how to configure a GPS in Betaflight. And I also made use of the Rimsler YouTube channel to help configure the GPS. After we configured the GPS and did a couple of tests to see if we actually pick up a couple of satellites. We transitioned to quickly connecting up the buzzer. The buzzer should be connected to the 5-volt pad and then also the BZ negative pad on the flight controller. I originally thought that it should be the BZ and the ground, thinking that the BZ pad is actually a pull up resistor. So effectively, if you activate the buzzer, that it would apply 5-volt to the specific pad, but that's actually incorrect. It's actually a pull down resistor, so that's why you have to connect it to the 5-volt and then that BZ. So the BZ is pulled down, and voila, you've got a voltage drop across the buzzer, causing it to buzz when the buzzer is activated. And in this last portion of the video, you can see us figuring out how we're going to attach the GPS and buzzer to the drone itself. Obviously, it came with that back TPU printed mount for the GPS, which in hindsight I probably should have used. But I'm trying to get it away from the antennas as much as possible. So I was like, nope, I'm going to attach it to my trusty little blue camera protector. So look, it looks a little bit janky, but it still allows you to position the GPS facing nicely upwards, maximizing the benefit of the little bit of signal that you can get from this tiny GPS module. The performance of the GPS itself is not the best. It typically takes about 2 minutes, 3 minutes to hopefully get 6 satellites. So what I've been doing is I've been charging up an extra battery, leaving it plugged in, just having it sit there on the open sky to just pick up satellites as much as possible for a couple of minutes, say 5 to 10 minutes. Or for example, if you're driving in a car about to go fly somewhere, you put it up on the dash with the battery plugged in, with the aircon blowing on the quad to keep it nice and cool. But at least that way it gets relatively good amount of satellite coverage. Typically, as well, if you're lucky, you get, like I said, 7 satellites relatively quickly in under 2 minutes. And then the most satellites I got in total was about 14. But that would be if you're lucky and you've definitely left it on for a long enough time for it to obtain those GPSs. I did go to test the additional features that you get with the GPS, such as the return to home, obviously the always on display with the displaying the coordinates is a really nice feature to have to locate your lost drone if you might lose it along the way. But obviously you also get to test the fail-safe type stuff to activate that return to home function automatically, or the rescue mode as they call it, and then the land function, all of those type of fun stuff. So this clearly feeds directly nicely into my my next video, which is very exciting and a little bit tragic. So definitely tune into that specific video. Thanks for sticking with me throughout this specific one. And yeah, give me a comment, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about our build. Have you made any weird janky configurations to attach stuff to your drone? And do you think that the method that I've got here is actually a problem, or doesn't it really matter all that much? One thing that I didn't notice that doesn't work that well is the direction for return to home arrow, but that should be okay. Anyway, thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.